Hello students, welcome back to the another session of geography. Today we are on lesson number 2, Inside Earth. So we are going to learn in this chapter about our Earth. What are the things are present inside our Earth? How many layers are there on our planet Earth? So let's start the chapter. The Earth, our homeland, is a dynamic planet. It is constantly undergoing changes inside and outside. So we know that the planet Earth, this is the only planet where life is possible. And we have different layers of Earth on the ground as well as on the air. So there are layers of atmosphere as well as there are layers on the land. So today we are going to learn about the layers on the land. Interior of the earth. See, this is a picture of our earth, and the earth is divided into 3 main layers. We live on the land which is known as lithosphere, isn't it? We human beings, we settle down on land as well as the plants also. Then many living and non-living things are also settled down on land. But this land where we are staying by building the houses, you know, below this land also there are different layers. So the first layer where we live, where we stay, is known as the crust. Then the second layer is known as mantle. The third layer is known as the core. Okay, then this core is further divided into 2, outer core and inner core. So one by one we are going to learn about the layers of the planet Earth. You can take the example of an egg. When you boil the egg, you will find that there will be thin layer outside the egg, isn't it? Then when you remove the shell of the egg, you will see a white portion, isn't it? That is the second layer of the egg. Then when you remove the white portion, you will see a yellow part inside the egg, the yolk. So that is the third layer of the egg. So just like the egg, the earth is also in this form. The first layer is a crust, second layer is the mantle, and the third layer is the core. Now let's start. Interior of the earth. Just like an onion, the earth is made up of several concentric layers, one inside another. The uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called the crust. So the uppermost layer over the earth's surface is known as the crust. This is known as the crust. It is the thinnest of all the layers. So this layer is thinnest of all the other 2 layers. It is about 35 km on the continental masses and only 5 km on the ocean floors. So the depth of the crust is only 35 km. So the depth of the crust is 35 km. 35 km, that also on the continental masses. Continental masses means the mountain, the top of the mountain. This is known as a continental crust. Okay, this portion. Okay, this portion, continental crust or masses. It is only 35 km. 35 km depth. And then it is 5 km on the ocean floors. 5 km on the ocean floor. This is the ocean, water surface. Okay, and below the water surface, also under the water also there is a land which is known as the oceanic crust. Okay, on the land we have the continent. Continent means where we stay. And next, below the continent there is a layer which is known as a continental crust. So just likewise, the ocean also, we have the water surface, and then below the water surface we have a land which is known as the oceanic crust. Because you see, when we drown, there will be a point where we will stop. We will not keep on going deeper and deeper, and there will be no end. It is not like that. When we go deeper inside the water also, there will be a land where we can land easily. Okay, and that portion is known as the oceanic crust of the ocean. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and aluminium. So we get two kinds of minerals in the continental mass on the land, which is known as silica and aluminium. These are the two minerals. So it is thus called Cl. Cl means silica Si and aluminium's Al. So together it is known as Cl. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. We saw that the continental crust, it consists of minerals like silica and aluminium. In the oceanic crust, we get the minerals of silica and magnesium. It is therefore called SiMa. Silica's Si and magnesium Ma together makes it sigma. Just beneath the crust is the mantle, which extends up to a depth of 2,900 km. What is the depth of crust? It is 35 km. That also 35 km on the continental crust and 5 km on the oceanic crust. So after the 35 km, we will keep on counting like 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and you will end on 2,900 km. So now you can just imagine how deeper is our second layer of earth, which is known as mantle. And the more deeper you go inside the earth, the more heat you will feel. The temperature will keep on rising. Okay. The innermost layer is the core with a radius of about 3,500 km. So the second layer is mantle. The third layer is the core. So the depth of the core is 3,500 km. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron and is called Nif. Nickel's Ni and iron's chemical formula of iron is Fe. So together it is Nif. The central core has a very high temperature and pressure. Now mantle. The second layer is mantle. Mantle, the depth is 2,900 km. And from this mantle, the volcano eruptions begin. Okay, the volcanic eruption, where does it take place? It takes place in the mantle. In the mantle layer of the earth's surface. So whenever we see volcano, we find that the lava comes out from the volcano's mouth, and that mouth is known as a creator of the volcano, from where it has been created, from what is the depth of that creations, that is known as creator. And when the volcanoes are being erupted, we can see lava coming out from their molten lava. Okay, and from that lava, we also get many things when those lava cools down. Now let us see what are the things we get from the lava in our next topic. Rocks and minerals. The Earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the Earth's crust is called a rock. Rocks can be of different color, size and texture. Rocks, what is rock? Rocks are hard substance, and from the rocks we get the soil. When the rocks are broken down by the pressure of air, by the pressure of water, these rocks, it creates cracks in between, and these cracks are broken down into small particles. Then these particles, it gets mixed up in the land and forms the soil where we plant many plants. We grow many plants, okay, and it is a very fertile soil. Then we also get minerals from the Earth's crust. First, let us see which are the rocks we get from our Earth's crust. There are three major types of rocks: igneous rock, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Now we will study about igneous rock, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. These are the three types of rock on the Earth's crust. When the molten magma cools, it becomes solid. Rocks thus formed are called igneous rock. Now the molten magma, from where do we get the molten magma? We get from the lava. And from where we get the lava? When there is a volcanic eruptions. When the volcanic erupt, they form the lava, and those lavas forms into molten. It melts and forms the magma, and from there the molten magma is known as the igneous rock, and it is little bit blackish in color. They are also called primary rocks. There are two types of igneous rock. Then in igneous rocks also it has been distinguished into two. That is intrusive rocks and the extrusive rock. Now what is intrusive and extrusive rocks? Can you imagine lava coming out from the volcanoes? Of course, yes. Lava is currently fiery and red molten magma coming out from the interior of the earth on its surface. So from where does the lava comes? It comes from the interior of the earth's surface. And what is the color of the lava? It is fiery red. You might have also seen on TV that when the lava comes out, the whole earth surface, it looks very red, and in fact the sky also, it appears very red in color. So those lava, it brings the molten magma with it. Then when this molten lava comes out on the earth's surface, it rapidly cools down and becomes solid. So when this the melted lava comes out, it spreads on the land, and after some time, it takes hours, it takes many days to cool down. Then once the lava cools down, it forms rocks. Okay, it forms rock, and those rock which comes out from the lava, they are extrusive igneous rocks. They have very fine grain structure. For example, basalt. The Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rock. So many years back, how the Deccan Plateau was formed? It was formed due to the volcanic eruptions, and in this way the Deccan Plateau, we got the land over the places. Sometimes the molten magma cools down deep inside the earth's crust. Solid rocks so formed are called intrusive igneous rocks. And sometimes the lava, what it does, it melts inside the earth's crust. It spreads the lava, it breaks the earth, and then it keeps on spreading inside the earth's crust only, and those cooling down and spreading into the inside the earth's crust is known as the intrusive igneous rock, and we can get many small particles of rocks inside the earth's crust. Since they cool down slowly, they form large grains. Granite is an example of such a rock. Grinding stones used to prepare paste or powder of spices and grains are made up of granite. Rocks roll down, crack and hit each other and are broken down into small fragments. These smaller particles are called sediments. Now, the next rock is sedimentary rocks. Now, how we get the sedimentary rocks? When we dig the land, we get many small particles inside the earth's crust, and those particles, small particles, are known as sedimentary rocks. Now, how these sedimentary rocks actually forms? When the lava comes out, it clashes with each other. Okay, it clashes with each other and there forms small particles. And when it cools down, you will see that it will form a very solid portion, and it also keeps on spreading in small particles. So those small particles are known as sediments, or sedimentary rocks are formed from them. These sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. So now this sediments rock, since they are separated from each other, they are not solid. Okay, rocks which comes out from the lava, which is known as the igneous rock, they are solid, but there are rocks also which are loose and not connected or attached to each other. So they don't stand in one place. By the pressure of wind, by the pressure of water, they get deposited into the water. Okay, they get deposited by the wind as well as by the water. So sometimes we can see near the ocean, near the sea also many small stones we can see. So those are known as sedimentary rocks. These loose sediments are composed and hardened to form layers of rocks. So when these sediments are transferred and deposited into water, when they go to the ocean or sea, there also they form the layers of the rocks. The sediments, by the pressure of the water also, they get tightened with each other and forms rocks. These types of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. For example, sandstone is made from grains of sand. These rocks may also contain fossils of plants, animals, and other microorganisms that once lived on earth. So sandstone or sedimentary rocks also, we can also find in the forms of plants and animals, like animals which are dead, they get mixed with the land. So from there also we can get the sedimentary rocks can be formed. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rock under great heat and pressure. So igneous and sedimentary rocks, out of these two rocks, the third rock is formed, which is known as metamorphic rock. But this rock can be formed by the pressure of heat. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. See the picture here in figure 2.3. Sedimentary rocks turned into a metamorphic rock. It can be turned into clay, like clay can be turned into slate and also into limestone, and limestone into marble. Rocks are very useful to us. The hard rocks are used for making roads, houses and buildings. You use stones in many games. For example, seven stones, hopscotch, 5 stones. So these are the games. You might have played. I have played these 7 stones and then 5 stones also. So these rocks are we play actually with the sediment rocks, which are this much size. And we also know that rocks are also helpful in building our houses, in building the roads. Now see the picture. Collect pictures of some monuments and find out which are the rocks used to build them. 2 pictures have been collected for you. So now you know that which are the rocks. So you have to find out what kind of rocks are being used in order to build the monuments. 2 examples are given. One is the Red Fort and the second is the Taj Mahal. The Red Fort is made out of red sandstone and Taj Mahal is made out of marble, white marble. You will be surprised to see that one type of rock changes to another type under certain conditions in a cyclic manner. This process or transformations of the rock from one to another is known as a rock cycle. So the rocks, we already saw that the igneous and sedimentary rocks together, we can under the great pressure we can form the metamorphic rock. So from one rock to another, we can the formations can be done, and this formation is known as a rock cycle. You have already learned when the molten magma cools, it solidifies to become igneous rock. These igneous rocks are broken down into small particles that are transported and deposited to form sedimentary rocks. When the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure, they change into metamorphic rocks. The metamorphic rocks, which are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form molten magma. Now, this metamorphic rocks also, when they are under great heat and pressure, they also forms into lava. For example, you can take the example of iron. If you melt the iron, you can see the molten magma coming out by the process of melting of iron. So this metamorphic rocks also, it melts into lava, molten lava. This molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rock. Now this molten magma again you can change into igneous rock. So see here, this is a magma coming out from the volcanic eruptions. This is igneous rock. Sedimentary rocks means small particles. Then we have sedimentary rocks. Then the sedimentary rocks turns into metamorphic rocks. Then again the metamorphic rocks turns into lava, then igneous. This is the cycle of the rock formation. Rocks are made up of different minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and definite chemical composition. Minerals are very important to humankind. Some are used as fuels. For example, coal, natural gas, petroleum. They are also used in industries. Iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. In medicines, in fertilizers, etc. So rocks are also made up of different minerals. Which are the minerals? Coal, petroleum. Then we have gold. From where we get the gold? We get gold from the mining of coal. So I hope so you must have understood the chapter. So we will meet in the next chapter. Till then, take care and thank you.